right? Like I just turned 35. Like WWE aren't coming for me. AEW aren't coming for me. And I always said that I was never out to accomplish that anyway. And I don't know whether I told myself that just to I don't know. I don't know. But I think as well, the reason I keep doing this is because it keeps me on the straight and narrow to a degree, because it keeps me in the gym. Like I work out because of wrestling. I eat right because of wrestling.
Of course,
I don't get involved in we all got friends and relos and stuff that, do bad shit, I'm sure, but it keeps me on the straight and narrow and out of that stuff. It keeps me focused. Helps me, do something that I think is worthwhile. Because what am I going to do if I don't do this? If I'm not doing this, I'll probably end up racing. I'm an avid F1 fan. I've been since I was a kid. I'd probably get into karts. And the thing is then, that's another hobby, and that's way more expensive than wrestling. I think I want to get to that stage in my life now where I want to just enjoy time with my wife and my daughter. That's not I've got this on this weekend, so I got to go and I'll be back later. Because wrestling, it takes up a whole day. You know what I mean?
Oh, for real.
And then even the gym, like I said, I'd love to take some time off and just not work out, but I don't want to be a fat guy either. So, but I don't know, man. Right now, the answer is just I'm riding the wave. I'm looking at what opportunities come my way. I'm enjoying the ride. Wrestling has presented me with so many opportunities, which I'm grateful for. A lot of things outside of just wrestling, things with, doing, magazines and, radio and, just where it takes you with places and the people you meet. It's awesome. Right. So I'm very grateful. And right now I'm just riding the wave, and there'll be a time where I'll bet there and I'll be like, I won't do this anymore. And that'll be it. There won't be any this is my last match and my last hurrah. It just, you'll know that other guy, we won't mention his name. He'll know, who I'm talking about. He'll know. Christian Chaos will know. And that'll be it. You know what I mean? That'll be it. I'm done. And probably probably a few others that I talk to on that I talk to regularly, and that's it. Promoters obviously that I work for, but that'll be that.
Yeah, they may want to know.
They might want to know, but when I'm done, that's it. I don't owe anyone anything. I've always given 100% when I've been in the ring. I really have, even if it hasn't been up to par. I know that was as good as I was that day. And even if it was an absolute dog shit match, that was the best I could give you for that day, given whatever's going on in my life. Or, sometimes you can't switch off the real world when you go out there. As much as I wish it would take it away. Sometimes it's just some more important things that live upstairs. You know what I mean? You've sat there with me. I think it was before I think an FWA show. What's wrong with you today? And I was I told you some personal shit, and I was some X, Y, and Z. And it's just some days it's just, you can't, I can't, with work in the real world, you're having a bad day, you take a sick day. Unfortunately, when you're doing this, there's no sick day. You've committed to a day.
There is. It's just so you can pull out, but it's always
but that's not, unless I physically can't, because I'm vomiting or I can't breathe or something, but I've not been like that. So you just got to do your best.
100%, man. So, after being involved in wrestling for now, going on close to 10 years?
I don't like saying that, because here's why. When people say I've been in the business 7 years or 10 years, I've been around it for 10 years, but I don't I worked maybe 30 matches in 4 years. No, probably even less, bro. Probably 20 or 15. So I can't say I've been in the business for 10 years, because my skill level isn't that of a person who's been in the business for 10 years. I'll tell you that first and foremost.
Yeah.
So because I worked for AWE for the first 4 years I was involved. Yeah. 4 or 5. And then I was training there, and, I wasn't wrestling every week. I was wrestling once a month, once every 6 weeks. That's not 10 years worth of experience. I think if you look at my record somewhere online, one of those websites, I think it's got me listed at maybe 110, 120 matches. That's nothing. That's nothing, bro. That's not 10 years worth of experience. So
for sure.
Have I been around it for 10 years? Sure. But am I at that level of someone who's been around it 10 years? God, no.
Mm.
But what were you saying anyway? I digress.
No, I was just going to say you've been around it for a number of years, and you know you've definitely seen the changes in the culture in wrestling. How do
Yeah,
you find it now compared to what it was like when you sort of first started breaking in?
I don't like it. That's completely honest with you. I think it is full of the most, and I'm not saying everyone is like this, okay? But like, I feel that it is the most hypocritical, most woke wannabe, like fucking everyone's a fucking social media warrior. Um,
Yeah,
I hate it. I think it's toxic. I think that the same people that sit here and preach about social justice and jump on every single indiscretion and want to hang everybody that does something wrong in our scene here in Australia are the same fucking people who are like bullying behind closed doors, who are fucking like, they show this, but they're really like C bombs, when people aren't looking. That's my take on it, to be completely fair. There's very few real honest people in this business. I think it's all bullshit. I think it's a fucking like, but then again, the world has turned into bullshit in this day and age. To be completely fair, like I got to be politically correct with everything I say. I can't even be fucking me these days. Do you know what I mean? I can't be the real me because I got to be careful of who I offend. Back when I started, right? I'll tell you the guys who were around when I started, right? So obviously Psychotic, right? He trained me, yeah. He's been around, old school. Blake Stone, Mr. Exclusive, Luke Knight, Phil, like Birdman, fucking who else? Tristan Slade was around. Cut my teeth against Tristan Slade. Big T. I don't know for those guys that would remember Big T. The Big Bad Nick, the Masked Mauler. These are guys that were big at that time. Like, like they were hardened guys that they weren't like soft. There was none of there was none of this bullshit. There was none of this, like, the whole premise is if they're out to offend you or hurt you, they're going to do more than call you a name or say something on the internet that, you know what I mean? Like they'll go and hurt you for real, like physically, they'll cause you pain. I feel that today everyone is so sensitive and like, it's not a scene for me, but then again, like it's reflective of the world. It's a sign of the times. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes and no, though, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily agree. I think wrestling's, like, to be honest, a lot more in that sort of bubble than the rest of the world, to be honest.
Okay, let's be real then, yeah? Let's break it down, right? And I'm probably gonna get called an asshole for this, but I don't really care. Look around in the wrestling scene, right? Look at the educational levels of, like, dare I say a lot, but there are some very educated people in wrestling, like in wrestling, who have like higher education degrees and proper jobs, like, you know what I mean? But then there are a lot of people who like aren't on that socioeconomic level. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain. I don't know what the word is, but like the education and like fucking general fucking, like common sense isn't there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's lacking. You know what I mean? You got to remember, wrestling, it always has been a cheap man's form, or a form of cheap entertainment. It is nothing sophisticated about it, to be completely fair. Like, I'm not saying it's not polo. It's not fucking, like a Formula One racing where, there's money behind it and money backing it. So you're getting a higher level of person.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you expect with the people you're dealing with? Do you know what I mean? Like, what did you expect?
Yeah, bro.
I'm not ripping on people. I'm not giving anyone. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just pointing out facts are facts. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go and compare, like, professional soccer, or right, like there's a higher caliber, like, of athlete most of the time in those things, because it's backed by financial, like institutions and investors and whatnot. There's money behind it. Yeah. Exactly. So there's a higher level of expectation among the people that are involved, i.e. the players. Like there's a certain way they've got to act and certain things they can and cannot say and do. Like, they're professionals.
There's big money involved.
But the fact of the matter is, here at our level, it's not monetized. it's run by like individual people run their own feds. Do you know what I mean? Like this guy's a bricklayer, this guy's a bus driver, this guy's, you know, lawyer. We're all different. But the fact of the matter is, like, it's not finance and no one's held to a high regard. So it attracts just about anybody. You know, anyone can do it. You know, everyone's a wrestler. You know, like I said, I'm not ripping. I'm just trying to compare apples and apples. That's why I think we have a lot of the problems in the scene. And this is why the culture is shit, because just about everyone from every walk of life is involved. Whereas if you compare it to a different kind of sport at that higher, because this is the highest level here in Australia. Let's be real. Like there's no grassroots. It's sort of this, and this is the level of wrestling here. But other sports and that, they have like the grass level, then they have the semi-pros and the pros. And when you get to that level higher up, they cut out the bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Like they cut out the fucking the idiots, and like, you know, there's no place for them. But here, we welcome everyone. That's the thing. That's part of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, am
I making sense? I'm sure it's going to get misconstrued, but
no. You're making sense, bro. Like.